Welcome to the second edition of How to Enter Timesheets, the second most boring video on all of YouTube. So the purpose of this video is to give assistance in entering timesheet data using the Windows 10 app. This is an app that comes, you can find it in the Microsoft Store and can be used instead of entering timesheets on your phone if you so wish. It is a little bit more fiddly and a little bit more time consuming, so I would recommend data entry on a mobile device, either Android or Apple. But if needs be, you can enter on the Microsoft app that we're looking at the moment. So the first thing you have to do is log in using the credentials that will be issued to you by the IT department. It's just a first name, surname and a password that you have to enter in there. Once you've done that, it will bring you into this section here. So we are looking at forms. So click on forms and we are looking at task timesheet entry. Depending on what department you're in, it will list it here. But this is a perfect demonstration because I will be filling this out as if I'm in the workshop. So let's have a look at this. Click into it, and it gives me the same three options that we have at the top of the mobile device version of this form: projects, client services, aka maintenance, and non-job related for items that aren't related to a project or a maintenance contract. So in this example, imagine that you have built a panel in the workshop and it was for the projects department. So I'll click on projects and I need to then select the project that I was working on. It gives you this big long list of names that you can scroll up and down on if you so choose, or if you start typing at the top, it will filter based on what you've typed. So we're going to say we're working on a high Holborn panel here. It then fills out the job number and the client name. That's from a list within the back end of the software. Then look at selecting a task, and we are doing panel build. The numbers at the end here, the 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6, relate to accounting codes, so you don't need to worry too much about those. Panel build mods. Select your location. We're in a workshop. We will also get the option to add, only when you select panel build, you then get the option to add a panel reference. So D1, typical panel reference, every single job's got D1. Depending what panel you're on, enter the detail there. If you're working on a job where there are multiple panels of the same D reference, like a batch type job, if you start with the panel drawing reference as D10, and then you can put 2 of 34 or whatever panel you're working on. If for any reason the time that you're filling the timesheet out for was non-productive or wasted, as if you have to go over old ground or an error, something like that, you can tick this box and then put a little bit of the description down below. Not for this one though. So what I'll do here is I'll imagine I'm filling it out in the future. Select the date and then tick. Select the time and then tick. If you look down the bottom here, because I haven't changed the completion time, the system's calculated that there's something wrong with that. So I need to change the date on there to 28. Tick that. And it's picked up the time now. So it's saying that the task duration of this activity was 9 hours. I'll check it all over, and once I'm happy, I can enter it by clicking the send button at the top. I will no longer be able to make changes. Click and send. And then you can, it asks you if it wants you to, if you want the system to prompt you every time you send, just in case you accidentally send one, but I'm going to set don't prompt because it's not really an accident to send one. Next example for the workshop, if you're working on a client services project, aka maintenance. So click on client services, Now, client services haven't got a populated list of the projects they're working on, so this is a free entry text. Client services projects are often referred to as O numbers. I'm going to make up an O number for here and call it the big building. If you don't quite get the job number right, then at least get the name right, and we'll be able to find it out. Select the task you're working on, select your location, panel reference, and then the time. I'm just going to leave that as a real short duration. So I've got to tidy up all of these false claims I'm putting in. So once you're happy, everything's filled out correctly, click on send, and it just sends. It didn't prompt me there just to make sure I was happy because of what we selected from the first run round. And finally, the other option we've got is a non-job related item. So a non-job related item is likely to be one of these headings. So it could be training or study if you're doing a health and safety course or something like that. If you're working on a very old legacy project, you can fill out here. If you have management responsibilities, you can fill it out here. Or if you've been asked to do something on Prospect House, you can enter it here, say, fixing a gate. Set the times as you would normally, and then enter the sheet. Okay, so that one has been sent. It's important that you fill out the timesheet and send it after you've finished each activity, especially in the workshop because of the dynamic nature and requirements within. You may be starting a day working on one job. By the end of the day, you've worked on another 2 different jobs because something needs to get out the door. So that's why it's important that you only fill out the timesheet when you have finished an activity. Ideally straight away. If not, do it at the end of the day. Once you knew that 8 until 10 you were working on job A, 10 until 1 you were working on job B, and then after lunch, 2 until 5 you're working on job C. You can fill that all out at the end of the day using 3 separate timesheets. Okay, that's all we've got for now. Thank you.